microdose, yeah, microdose, 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 dose, microdose, microdose, dose, microdose, microdose, dose.
And we're gonna start in 5, 4, 3. What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here, coming to you. The newest edition of the Microdose. You lucky ducks got 2 episodes this week. I wish we were doing more of that. I remember the good old days where we might pump out 3 or 4 of these a week, but it is what it is. We're having a great time, just rolling along. Adults over 18, tax day, 10 days from now. If you're not going to make it, just file the extension. Guess what, folks? You don't have to wait till August either. You can just do it in May. You can do it in June, but like, don't wait till the last moment and stress yourself out. Like I've seen it happen too many times, and this is why I'm passing on this information to you. I'm not an accountant. I don't know shit about it. I just know you can turn in the extension, and then the next day turn in your return. It's anyways. It's personal to me. I hope you guys take it. It's the worst thing you could neglect. Those giggles in the background. New friend of mine. He's been on the show before, making his return. The cinematographer of Len Kabaczynski's Pact of Vengeance, coming out this May on Patreon.com. Steven Steinbacher. Steven, what's good?
Hey, Kush. Things are good. Life is good. How are you doing today?
Thanks for coming back, buddy. Yeah, man. Things are good, dude. We just finished recording season 2 of the Kick-Ass Movie Podcast with the aforementioned master Len Kabaczynski, director of Pact of Vengeance, which you and I have both worked on.
Yes.
So we're just getting ready to bang those last 2 episodes out, and then we're going to move into some more recordings. Otherwise, I don't know if you're aware of it, Steven, but today, as we're recording this, Doctor Strange tickets came out today. You have any anticipation for that? Were you planning on seeing it? Or were you just like, maybe not so much?
Well, it's kind of hard for me to get to the theater right now due to my car situation, but I might go see that. There are other movies that are a higher priority for me, but I do love Sam Raimi. So if I hear it is more Sam Raimi than like normal Marvel movie, I'll definitely try to catch that on the big screen.
I'm definitely going to save my last little mushroom treat here just for that screening.
That would be great.
I don't have tickets myself. I managed to max out my 3 count on the Regal Unlimited app. I canceled my AMC pass, but based on my experience with Spider-Man No Way Home, I was just like, well, they're going to get all sorts of stupid traffic. But if I come back in like 6 hours or even the next day, like, it'll probably still be open. Like these multiplexes do like 8, 9, 10 different theaters. So I find it funny that like everybody on Facebook says like, I can't get my Doctor Strange tickets. Why? Life is unfair. You know, it's ridiculous and also tragically funny to see grown adults act this way about a Marvel movie.
Well, people didn't used to have to see things on like opening night or the Wednesday before it comes out or the Thursday before it comes out, right? But like the spoiler culture for these Marvel movies is so intense that they'll like justify like every cameo being on green screen so that it doesn't get leaked by shooting on a real set, stuff like that. Like I'm sure this like Patrick Swayze or Patrick Stewart's in the new Doctor Strange, right? There's going to be all sorts
Patrick
of like,
Swayze.
that would be sick. That would be awesome.
But, fake Swayze in Doctor Strange. I'm starting that rumor right here, folks. All right, get that going.
What role is he playing? He's Galactus.
Ooh, he could be Galactus. Yeah, I mean, but the helmet on the deep fake will absolutely like hide a lot of imperfections. Totally. Like that's some good casting there, Steve.
Thank you. I mean, it might be in the movie. We don't know yet. You should definitely get that rumor going. Do the Grace Randolph thing where you just like say a total lie and like promote that as like the absolute truth is a leak, and then build yourself some traffic that way.
I know Grace Randolph by name. I'm sure I've seen a couple of her videos, but I don't know what you're referencing.
Oh, I don't know. I like barely know who she is. From what I can tell, she like pretends like she knows exactly what happens with the reshoots of every movie and stuff before it comes out. I don't really know what's going on. She might be great. I have no idea. Not trying to single her out.
Okay, fair enough. Not throwing shade at Grace Randolph. Call me.
Frankly, I think it's cool to just like lie to stir up views. I mean, why not go for that? But, you know, I'm not really in the YouTube space like that, but if I were,
That seems to be what most of YouTube is, anyways. It just, if not lies, just flat out blind speculation that other people
Totally.
run with. It's also a problem with pro wrestling fans,
Mhm.
and then Star Wars fans. They're, yeah, all the above, all the above. I just saw the new Morbius movie last
Ah.
Thursday, and man, it ain't terrible, but it wasn't good. And when I say it's not good, I actually fell asleep during the 2 minutes of part of the climax. Like, these two dudes were talking, and I closed my eyes for a second, and I woke up, and then there was just bats, and this motherfucker had a narrative going, and then he just flew off, and they went Morbius, and I was like, what? What? Spoiler alert for what I'm not even sure I saw, but
That one, I would see it if I had like nothing going on, but I don't know. It's
wait for
kind of like I don't
stars, wait for
really,
Netflix. It's,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't really care for like those Sony movies very much, and I don't really like Jared Leto. So what
Okay,
am I gonna get out of that film? I don't know.
that's fair on both counts. You don't like what you don't like, and the Sony movies have had a terrible track record. So asterisks is all around here. Like, I want to say, once upon a time, Morbius was supposed to come out before Spider-Man: No Way From Home,
Totally.
and then the COVID happened, and they kept doing the shell game with, like, well, maybe we'll put it on this day and we'll put it on that day. All right, Delta variant, we'll do this, and we'll push. Well, Morbius is definitely the weaker of the two, so let's get Spider-Man in just before Christmas, and then that'll be our
Mhm.
January release. Oh shit, Spider-Man's doing way better than we even thought it would do. We don't want Morbius to tank that. April Fool's Day. All
Right.
right,
Push it
that's
back.
how, I believe that's how it went down. So
Seems
there's
like it worked out for him, right? Like it's doing okay at the box office.
it's doing okay at the box office. It's doing okay internationally. It didn't cost them a lot, unlike most of the other Marvel movies. But even
I'll give
at the
Sony credit. Their movies look like they cost about as much as they should. Like compared to like that most recent Spider-Man cost like 300 million, and it looked like nobody was ever in the same room with each other. You know,
Mhm.
I hear Morbius has like a Matrix Revolutions, Matrix Reloaded sort of like CGI cityscape feel to it, and I might be nostalgic enough for that like early 2000s camp that I could
Mhm.
vibe with it. I don't know.
I keep hearing people comparing this and Venom to, like, it's just like a 90s action movie. And
Eh,
having lived through the 90s, I still don't know what that means. But it's
yeah.
they with Morbius, they try to do a whole slow-mo thing, and there's lots of like deep purples, and like there's cool looking stuff in it, but it's the story is not good. And again, like, there was a lot of time shifting, so there had to have been editing. And I don't know
Mhm.
how much of the trailer you ever saw, but like, there were Spider-Man references that are now not there
In the
whatsoever,
movie.
which I
The
didn't
Michael
think you
Keaton
could.
scene is like a different scene in the movie, right? It's not the scene from the trailer.
Yes ish, but it's also just an
Okay.
after credit scene anyways.
All right.
And then there was apparently another one that I just went, I don't even care, I'm just going, like,
Yeah.
people are making too much out of the after credit scene. I feel these days, like, it's usually just 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute tops. It rarely does anything to justify seeing the next movie. In fact, with Spider-Man, the end credit trailer was just a trailer for Doctor Strange 2. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I appreciate that. It's just a trailer.
I
Ooh.
feel like they were more interesting post-credit scenes like in the early Marvel movies, and now these are like
Mhm.
you don't have to watch them at all. They
You
might not even
don't.
make the movie they're setting up.
No. I remember with the first Tom Holland Spider-Man, the end credit scene was Captain America, but I wasn't even expecting it, despite probably showing knowing better, or maybe I just didn't care that night. But like, left the movie. I was happy, but I
Right.
left the movie. And then someone's like, "Did you stay for the end credit scene, bro?" I was like, "No, I'll catch it on YouTube Monday. It'll be all right." He's like, "No, dude, you need to check this out." I was like, "Do I? What happened?" He's like, "Captain America sat down and did a PSA thing." And I went, "I'm glad you enjoyed the thing, dude, but I don't care."
Yeah.
One thing that I
uh,
caught on to us when we were hanging out in Los Angeles in October is like, we don't necessarily have differing opinions about movies, but like, even movies that we both know aren't good, we're like, dude, this is visually amazing. I need to see this on the big screen,
totally.
or like, I'm glad I saw this on the big screen, but I was disappointed with the story anyways. And just for example, you were getting ready to go see a 4K cut of Belly that weekend, and I was like, fuck, I hate that movie, but that's going to look amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and then I was like, yo, man, I'm gonna go see the new Edgar Wright movie, and I don't really like a lot of his stuff, but it's usually like visually pretty good, right? Like this should be good,
Yeah.
right? Anna Joy Taylor, everyone loves her. It was not good, but beautiful, goddamn beautiful. It's amazing.
At least you got to see the movie. Do you remember what happened with me and that screening
Yes,
of Ballet? That was absurd.
you guys
We
were like
showed
a
up.
minute late, or you guys were like, from what I understand for the story, like you weren't even absurdly late. Like the trailer should have been still going on or something.
I think it was like 5 minutes into the movie. It was a little late, but like, like it wasn't even that they don't let people in that were late. It was that the person who checks your vaccine card had gone home. And they were like, the security people were like, no, we can't make sure your vaccine card is real. Like, what even is that? What kind of policy is that? That's insane.
Not only is that insane, but I had such an adventure trying to just get 2 miles to the closest AMC where I was that like my vaccine card never came up. Like even with the downtime I had at the bar, like they didn't even ask me. They're like, "You want a margarita? No problem, bro. Oh, you need me to set a timer for 20 minutes so you can take off? Not a problem, dude. Thank you. We love you."
Yeah.
They're like, "All right, well, Los Angeles, I like you." So, dude, I'm trying to segue into something here, but I'm taking my time. A couple weekends ago, there was the Unnamed Footage Festival, and it's a celebration of found footage films. Are you into that at all?
I think my friend Robbie had a movie play there, The Outwaters. Did you watch anything from there?
I was there for the 2 main days, and then I saw the Friday preview, which is really dope, by the way. I want to say it was Edge. I want to say the movie was called Edge, and it was from 2007. It's not necessarily found footage, but it's about these, thrill seekers. They've done the bungee jumping bullshit, and they jumped out of a plane, but they're like, what else dangerous shit can we do? Like, oh, let's start squirrel suit diving. Like, and so like they'll go out onto a mountain, and the one guy's like, all right, I'm on the ledge, and he's like, bro, like there's still like a full yard of distance between this guy and the actual very tip of the earth. He's like, no, bro, you got to go out further. He's like, no, man, like, all right, inches a little bit forward. He's like, all right, he's like, you still got a foot of. He's like, no, man, you have to go out further. He's like, I'm running out of earth here, and I can't hold my balance. This is all in Portuguese or Spanish or anything but English. So there's lots of subtitles. He's like, dude, there's like 3 inches. Like, if you don't get onto the very tip of that edge, you're just gonna be smeared cheese on the mountain here. And so sure enough, he gets all the way out there, and then he jumps, and it's a success. But then there's a scene where they're doing the same gimmick, but much like you've had a problem with Steven Steinbacher, there's snow involved. So homeboy slips again. He he had 3 inches to go. He slips, almost kills himself in the mountain, but finally lands safely. However, his homeboy, who had like 9 inches, just his chute didn't open in time, and sure enough, he was just a watermelon on the concrete.
Oh, man.
I think that's just dramatic reenactment. I don't believe anybody actually died on this set, but that's the story. However, the stunts that these guys are doing are 1,000% real. There's no CGI. I'll take that back. There's one scene that was definitely CGI where the guy's looking behind him, and sure enough, this new dude just disappears into a wall. And he's like, oh no, like there's no blood splatter. You're just like, oh no, this guy just ate it hard.
Oof.
I was watching that movie and I was like, you know what, man, like the way indie movies are right now, I think this would probably be like the cheapest stunt team to like book right now. Like, guys, if you could figure it out, like maybe we're still talking 6 figures, but I feel like out of everything, like this would be the most spectacular. Whatever scene you do with these guys would be the most spectacular scene for the money you spent. Do you follow me there?
Yeah, that sounds amazing for sure.
So I've been thinking about that a lot lately, but this one movie that has been on my mind the entire time. It's by a dude out of Mexico. His name is David Torres. I actually have all my notes here for this one. So
nice.
He did a movie called Putrefaction, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. it doesn't have a wide release. You're not going to be able to find this on Blu-ray. I challenge you to find this on whatever torrent system you're on, because it's not there yet. But here's the gimmick. The gimmick is this dude, David Torres, took a 360-degree camera and made a full narrative around it.
Oh, cool.
So the narrative is female Mexican art student trying to get into college. It's a post-COVID society. She has lost both her parents to COVID, and she's just trying to find her way in the world. It could be a lot darker for what the situations imply, but then that narrative is so strong. And then what they do with the 360 camera was just like, fuck you, Doctor Strange. Like, I want this guy working for Disney in 6 months, man. Like, what he does with this, no one's done before. There's going to be a lot of copycats after this.
So do you watch it in 360, or is it like wrapped out into a flat image?
I believe it is. If I'm translating what you're saying, it's wrapped out into a flat image, because I got to sit down with him. He's actually my interview next week, or cheap
cool.
plug. But basically, like, the camera just sits in the middle of the room, or whatever corner you want to put it in. They do whatever they do in it, and this girl's an art student, so she does a lot of dancing. And then when, like, she gets stressed out or hyper anxious or whatever, through post-production, just everything just starts to just mold and swerve. And it was the most fascinating visual movie I saw there over the weekend.
Very cool.
And we
That
did
sounds
20
incredible.
films. We did 20 films. So the narrative and the visuals are so strong that I was like, oh my God, why is there a paranormal element to this? This is kind of the weakest part of it. Like, I see where you're going with it, but this is not needed whatsoever. This movie was fascinating. It absolutely deserves a viewing. Steven Steinbacher, if you can get your hands on it. Putrefaction.
And what was it called? Putrefaction. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
This thing, dude, I can't say enough good things about this movie visually. And you need to find that shit post haste if you can.
I will. I might wait for an official release or something, out of respect for the filmmaker. But
there you go.
We shall see.
That's just proper. That's just good manners. Dude, you seen anything of interest or of note?
So speaking of post-credit scenes, I didn't stick around for. Did you see Ty West's X?
I haven't yet. No, but I heard there's a post-credit scene. So
It's a
Nick
trailer
Fury
for
recruits
a
them for
prequel.
a trailer for a prequel. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which does look cool. I watched a cam rip of the trailer after, because I didn't know it was there when I went to go see the movie. But it's excellent. I haven't liked a lot of recent slashers. I thought Scream 5 was an abomination. Why the fuck was that movie about Star Wars? I don't know. I didn't really like Halloween Kills either. Although I feel like that one is a little more innocent than Scream 5 in my personal opinion. But this one, X, it is like, it's no bullshit. It's like a trashier movie than Texas Chainsaw. It's just it's just an honest to God weirdo slasher. It feels like Tourist Trap or something. I've seen people referring to it as like elevated horror, and it just feels like a total rejection of that to me. Like, it doesn't feel like it's going for those vibes at all. It does have some stuff to say about sexuality, but it's like a fun footnote on like just an awesome gonzo horror movie. And it gets my highest recommendation. Some people seem to really, really hate Ty West. So if you haven't liked his other movies, maybe don't watch it. I think most of his stuff rocks. I really like House of the Devil and The Sacrament, and I think this is probably his best film. So if you want to see Kid Cudi hang dong in a slasher,
you know I do. Oh wait,
what?
Is that a post? Someone must have put that in. All right, anyways,
yeah, it was a sound.
Is it closer to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or is it just its own thing?
It's its own thing. It's like got a weird commentary about like the dangers of sexual repression. But what's cool about it is like the first half is just a legit like hangout porno shoot movie. It's like Boogie Nights or something. I mean, obviously that's what he's going for. It's not as good as Boogie Nights, but it works. Like the characters are interesting. They have compelling dynamics, and then like as you see what's going on, like there are just some really, really weird choices that I don't want to spoil at all. Like mainly involving the killers, like just a really fun concept for a horror movie, if you ask me.
Okay, so it's not just one killer then. That's fun.
Yeah, it's got a lot going for it.
So let's talk about a little TV, dude. I know you've only seen Pam and Tommy, Tommy and
And not
Pam,
and not all of it yet. I've seen
and
like
not all of it yet.
6 episodes, maybe. I don't know. It's good though.
It's
I like what I've seen.
it's short. I think it's maybe 7 episodes. I forget.
Yeah.
It's all around. It's a very good narrative. I was surprised at how naked everybody was in episode 2, and then not naked anymore going the rest of it. I was like, oh, okay, I see what they did
Well,
there.
and
That's
it's all
fascinating.
like prosthetic genitalia in episode 2 as well, right? Isn't it? Like I'm pretty sure the actress's breasts are like just a prop made for the show, and then Sebastian Stan's penis is obviously not his real penis. Like that was
I
a
don't want
really
to believe
strange
any of that,
sequence
sir.
to me.
Damn you. I don't want to believe any of that. I want to believe that is Lily James' breasts. I want to believe she looks better than Pamela Anderson did in the 1990s. And I want to
We can
believe that
hope.
Sebastian Stans can actually make his penis move left, right, up, and down like a drone. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
bro. Hey, Winter Soldier, what are you doing?
He's incredible in that role, by the way. I mean, what a hateable character.
It's amazing
like,
that everybody's point of view, Tommy Lee is just an asshole.
Yes,
Like,
for sure.
Like Pamela Anderson's, all of her point of view is like, I still love this guy, but fuck, he's such a cocksucker. Ah.
I feel like Lily James is really good, but she doesn't like disappear into the role for me in the same way.
Really?
Yeah, Sebastian Stan does. And I know that's I'm not really seeing anyone else with that take. Like most people who watch it seem to be like, I feel like I'm not even watching actors right now, which is crazy to me. Like it feels like a very like hyper aware that you're watching actors sort of production to me. But I think it's cool that people are losing themselves in the performances like that. It's very well done.
It was, it's definitely an exaggeration. They take some liberties for artistic merit and et cetera, et cetera. Again, just based on episode 2, I'm like flabbergasted. Hulu is a private service, but it is still owned by like ABC and NBC, and I'm just like, this is
and Disney
and Disney. It's very Disney. Like if we were in Europe right now, it would just be on Disney Plus, and I'm just like,
I love
Tommy
that.
Lee's dick is talking on Disney Plus right now. What the fuck?
Meanwhile, Disney Plus in the US is censoring blood out of episodes of Hawkeye. Did you see that?
I heard about that.
Yeah, what the hell is that? And they like CGI censored Splash when they first put that on there. I don't get that at all. Like, can't people watch a PG movie? I don't get it.
There was a huge thing when the Netflix Marvel series is crossed over, and then they added you couldn't get into your Disney Plus account without like kind of re-registering, going like, yeah, we can watch the TVMA stuff. Don't worry about my 6-year-old son. But then there's been speculation about whether the removal of the blood from those new Marvel series, not even the old Marvel series.
Right, yeah, that's the thing.
It's been speculated that that's part of the, if you chose the censored route, the parental content route, then blood is removed from Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Hawkeye. But if you went TVMA, it's still there. I haven't tested either run. I don't care. I was one and done. It's fine. I don't care to go back.
Yeah, that's more acceptable, I guess. But at the same time, it's like that makes it so that they're never going to commit to using practical blood in a production again, right? Like every blood effect for forever will just be like a little CGI flick they're putting on top of the image.
And they're going to always blame that on the Alec Baldwin mishap.
Which is crazy. I mean, yeah, we don't have to get into that, but I have some pretty strong takes on the way.
We can do a whole podcast on that alone, my man.
Yeah. Ugh.
I feel we're in a really unique time right now. Where unique's the wrong word. Every 5 to 8 years, we get a whole new series of TV shows that are really exciting. Like, oh, this is new. This is fresh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to watch this. Moon Knight is not one of them. But what I am referring to is like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's only got 2 episodes as we're doing this, but it's not blowing my mind.
Bummed because I like Justin Benson and Moorhead who are making the show. But yeah, I saw a trailer for it and it did not look up my alley at all.
It's only 2 episodes and it's fine so far, but based on the last 4 Marvel D plus series, I'm not expecting it to blow my mind. What has blown my mind though is HBO Max's DC's The Peacemaker. I don't know if you had a chance to see any of that.
I didn't watch that because I did not like James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, but I've heard nothing but
Really?
great things about Peacemaker. Yeah.
What did you not like about the Suicide Squad? Because I didn't see Academy Award winning Suicide Squad. I
Okay, so this is I'm just gonna open off the bat here with this is obviously
swing
a very
for the
bad
fences,
take,
Steven.
but this is my opinion. I think it is literally exactly as bad as the last Suicide Squad movie. It doesn't have the incoherent editing the last Suicide Squad suffered from. But if you take that aside and you just look at everything that made that movie unappealing and unpleasant to watch, this new one suffers from it exactly the same. So much so, I feel like the like weird like poppy needle drops, like using pop music and stuff in the movie, worked better when it was a trailer house forcing all that into the movie than just James Gunn grabbing anything off his dad rock playlist and putting it in the film. Like I don't know, like a lot of songs I like are in that movie, but the usage of every single one pissed me off.
Oh no. Oh my God.
I don't know. It was just the comedy was mean in a way I didn't expect. Like I know I liked his previous movies when I was younger, but it was like almost all of the violence gags were at the expense of like the people that the US was occupying in this country. Like when Starro was like ripping everyone's faces off, it's not like it's like shitheads getting killed. It's just like innocent civilians getting their faces melted in like a really violent way.
Oh yeah, no, that entire town in Guatemala or wherever they were, like they're all dead. It's sad.
And then this movie has this message about like, well, we're actually commenting on US imperialism. And so they have it be like the US is the bad guy, cool. And then they have one of the characters from the previous movie, Joel Kinnaman, Rick Flag, die so that he can like he's trying to make sure that the information that the US did this gets out, right? And then the movie, and that's like an interesting beat and theme for the film to go into. And then the movie just ends with the Suicide Squad using that information that character died for as blackmail to keep themselves from getting killed. And that's like, they're just like, whatever, who cares? It's not a big deal. It's like, why is this movie dealing with such a broad, like gnarly theme like that?
I hear what you're saying.
It was that on top of just the humor was just like unrestrained, like it's raining cum jokes. And I like humor like that, but it just, I don't know. It was so much of one tone in a way that just didn't work for me. Like I found it like viscerally repellent, which was kind of surprising because I was excited for it. I like the Suicide Squad comics. There was some good stuff. I thought the actors were great. And I thought King Shark was fantastic. And it looked better than a lot of most modern superhero movies do. But I don't know. I had like a very bad time watching that movie.
I hate anti-heroes. And I hate the concept of anti-heroes. But here's been a pattern is once the first ones come out, everyone goes gaga over it. I might boycott it or I'll just check it out because everyone else has told me it's good. And then I'm like, well, that was still bullshit. But then the sequel comes out and then I like it better than everyone else does. And I'm like, no, it finally knows what it is. Like, so I hated Deadpool. I knew I was going to hate Deadpool, and maybe that was a bad thing to go into. But when I saw Deadpool 2, because I had to review it, I was like, this is established this thing. Oh wow, it actually has like an emotional beat at the beginning. And blah 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 blah. I like Deadpool 2 way more than I should have, compared to the fact that I thought Deadpool 1 was dog shit. Avoided Suicide Squad and Academy Award winning Suicide Squad entirely. You gotta say it. It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You gotta say the whole thing now. But the Suicide Squad, I was like, this is charming. I appreciate this whole thing. I think James Gunn is leaning into let's make this scene focused around music, but I also think that's why DC hired him. And I think that was also a reaction to the reaction to the reaction. Like Guardians of the Galaxy was a success. Then they made Academy Award winning Suicide Squad. Like, we got to put more music in this. And they re-edited it to be like Guardians of the Galaxy. So why not just hire the guy who made it? Of course, it was a smart choice, and it played off for them. Like I don't blame them at all. It worked. Let me tell you, dude, Peacemaker is pretty fantastic for its 8 episodes. I enjoyed every single episode. I like the fact that he thinks he's a good guy, but everyone was like, "No, motherfucker, you're a fucking monster." Like that's what are you talking about? Like I'm gonna kill every man, woman, child of Chief Beast, like, you're a monster. And he's like, am I a monster? Oh my God. Hey, Grand Dragon Father, am I a monster? Like, no, you're a. I'm like, what? Oh my God. Like, there's a lot of interesting things happening in the Peacemaker that goes well beyond the stupid fucking opening credits, which are entertaining, but that's the only thing anyone talks about. And that's the biggest complaint I have about HBO Max's Peacemaker.
Is that the credits are too annoying for people?
The credits are a lot of fun, but it's the only thing that everybody talks about.
Mm-hmm.
No one talks about like, oh, hey, this guy is doing this because of this and because of this. They are focusing on this. They're actually showing like there isn't such a thing as an anti-hero. Like even the good guys here are a piece of shit. And
Nice.
some of them are struggling with that too. All right. Like they wish they want to be doing good in the world, but like, oh, my boss just threatened to kill a bunch of children. How do I deal with that? I guess I gotta do this. That was the Peacemaker. But now we also into other stuff with like HBO Max. I think is killing it nowadays, and it's weird that they're not putting everything on Sundays. They're just like, maybe this comes out on Sunday, maybe this comes out on a Wednesday.
I remembered another show I liked recently was The Righteous Gemstones. Have you watched that?
I have not seen that. I've seen the tile on the HBO Max, but I haven't watched it.
It's excellent. It takes a couple episodes for you to get like really where it's like every angle it's going to like approach this scenario from. But it's very, very funny. Like it swaps between being like a straight up comedy and being like an action movie or a horror. Kind of at will in like really fun ways. I highly recommend it. Everyone in the cast kills it.
Who's
it's Danny McBride, John Goodman, Adam Devine from Workaholics, Walton Goggins. If you know who that is, I love him. He's incredible in it.
Him and Danny McBride seem to be a comedy team these days.
Yes, Vice Principals. They've done.
I didn't see Vice Principals, but that's what I was referring to. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so that's the same. That's Danny. That's Danny McBride writing with Jody Hill and David Gordon Green. And they all kind of alternate directing episodes and stuff. Jody Hill directed Observe and Report, which is a really great comedy from the 2000s where Seth Rogen plays a sociopathic mall cop.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, underappreciated film. I love that.
Very. I agree.
Highly recommend The Righteous Gemstones. Very funny show. I come from like a religious family, so seeing something kind of lampooning like the really nasty aspects of Christianity is fun for me. Because it kind of strikes close to home.
Oh, what did the family think of The Eyes of Tammy Faye? Or did they even see that?
I don't think they watched it. I did recommend it to my mom because I thought she'd get a kick out of it, but I don't think she's seen it.
Okay, that's fair. It was probably better too. Like moms can be troublesome with that stuff. So
I think she would handle that just fine. Personally, I mean, I got her watching The Righteous Gemstones, which has a lot of pretty funny scenarios in it. I would say that The Righteous Gemstones goes a lot further than The Eyes of Tammy Faye did.
Interesting. We're dropping a lot of F-bombs and
lots of like goofy like male genitalia gags, all sorts of crazy stuff. It's vile. It's wonderful.
HBO is pretty good about the male genitalia these days. If that's your thing, or if you're not offended by that, it's going to be there. So they did they're doing a series right now called Minx, M-I-N-X. And it's a loose interpretation of Playgirl's first days. And with the exception of the fact that the chick from Weeds and Orange is the New Black isn't a part of it, it's nearly identical to Glow. Netflix's Glow. Take pro wrestling out of the situation. It's the same thing. A empowered female who doesn't quite understand everything gets herself in a situation, and she definitely doesn't understand fish out of water stuff, and now she's producing a male porn rag or a female porn rag, whatever. Lots of dicks in this series, Steven Steinbacher. Lots of dicks, bro. You're gonna fall in love with the first episode. Then
how many dicks per minute would you say?
The first episode alone, honestly, is 15 minutes of dicks. They have to do a talent scout.
Nice.
So it's big dicks, it's little dicks, it's thick dicks, it's fat dicks, it's skinny dicks, it's minor dicks, it's hairy dicks, It's bare dicks, like dick, 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 to quote Quentin Tarantino.
That reminds me of this horrible story I read from the set. You saw Zola, right? I think I remember us talking about that last time.
Zola is amazing. Yes.
Do you remember
Amazed it
the
didn't
montage?
Yes. Yes, I
The
did.
montage in that of just the flaccid penises in front of the camera. I
Yeah, they have a
guess I think
scene similar to that. Yes.
yeah. I was kind of picturing that when you were describing whatever you were saying in the other show, but I guess they kept running into like actors like having pre-cum coming out of their penises while they were trying to shoot those scenes.
Oh shit.
Like, can you even imagine having to deal with that? Like, that has to be so awkward. Can we get
I mean, the whole
rag?
scene's awkward already, all right? Like male genitalia
but that's
is
like
still fresh territory. It shouldn't be, but it still is. All right. Yeah. How did they say how they handled that? Because I'm genuinely
I think just like carefully. It's just like
carefully.
you just have to think about how embarrassing it would be for the actor, I guess, was really like what they what I took away from it would be like, wow, like that there's an extra layer of something sort of humiliating, I guess, from that process.
TMI, I'm a grower, not a shower, but I think pre-cum on the tip of my dick would be the least embarrassing thing about the scene I'm in when my dick is exposed. I'm just saying.
I guess the thing would be like having someone notice the pre-cum and then come over and be like, we need to get this wiped off. We don't need this in the shot.
Also, like, do you do that yourself? Do they have a person that handles that? Are they union? Like, how do they get that job?
Right, exactly. Yeah. This is what you have to approach carefully.
Another series on the HBO Max with a lot of dicks in it is HBO's Winning Time, and that is about the 1980s Lakers. It's pretty cool, dude. It's pretty cool. My biggest gripe about it is they keep switching over from we're doing this scene in VHS form. Now we're doing this in film form. Now we're doing this in digital form. And it snaps back. Like, I think there's maybe a couple other formats that I'm missing in that, but it's distracting. It doesn't.
That's what sounded cool about the show to me. That was what made me want to watch it. I really give a shit about basketball. Yeah, but it could be annoying. Like, I've seen movies that don't handle that well. Like some of the Michael Bay Transformers movies, the aspect ratio shifts are too much. Let's be real.
No, man. We're living in a time where Star Trek the Motion Picture literally just this week got a 4K director's release where they polished everything up and like, oh, wait, when the Enterprise comes in the scene, we're going to make the lights flash a little bit brighter. All right.
Nice.
We're in that time, but to go backwards, no, we don't need that. I don't need to see the composite Magic Johnson looking blurry. All right, make that motherfucker 4K, make him 8K, make him 2K, but we don't need 1980s VHS footage of fake Magic Johnson.
I disagree. I think they should shoot the whole show on beta.
They got 5 episodes out right now, man. I dare you to watch them. I think it's really good.
I might find it annoying. Like, who knows? Like the changing of formats like that. I could see that being distracting if not done right.
You get past the first episode, you'll get into the rest of the series like I have, but it's nice. Still just like, why are you doing this? You don't need to do this.
Yeah. I guess what I appreciate about it is it's so rare that anyone tries to mix up the form in TV at all that it's like, yeah, give it some aesthetic audacity. Why not? No other show is going to look like it was shot on tape.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're at a good point here. So, is there anything you want to plug? We got Pact of Vengeance come out in May, but Instagram, YouTube pages, etc.
Yeah, hit up my Instagram at RIP Steinbacher, STEINBACHER, and then my YouTube is just Steven Steinbacher, which I'm sure you can get in the show notes or whatever. Yeah, check those out. I have some good short films and stuff, but beyond that, I've really just been slaving away on this movie, which will be done very soon. So. That's something.
You got anything lined up after this?
I have a mini series that's already been shot.
Shit.
Yeah, mostly shot. We have some like tiny pickups to do still. 2 episodes are done. So I'll probably start editing that. But honestly, for the most part, I am probably just gonna get like a normal job and just like save up for a while. Because making a movie takes a lot out of you, you know.
I hear you. I hear you. This Tuesday, Kick-Ass Movie Podcast number 11. It's the penultimate episode to the season 2 finale. Me and director of Pact of Vengeance, Master Len Kapuzinski, we're talking about Lorenzo Lamas's Bounty Tracker. It's a good time, man.
Nice.
We have a lot of fun talking about it. Honestly, the Rev Tracks episode is a lot better. I'm just gonna say that's just my personal opinion, but you do you. All right. Otherwise, check out Waffle Box Pod. Me and friend of the family, Mike Fish. Every Wednesday, we talk about everything and nothing all at the same time. It's the best part of Wednesdays. Otherwise, for Steven Steinbacher, I've been Kush Hayes. You've been you.
Microdose, 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 yeah, microdose.
From the BosNet family.
It's cool to just like lie to stir up views. I mean, why not go for that?